video is a race vlog. However, at the end, I'm also going to share with you guys what my final time was, and I'm going to share my heart rate and my splits and how I executed the session and what I could have done better to race an even faster and stronger race. So stay tuned to the end if you want to watch all that. I'm about to go to bed. It's now 9 p.m. and I have my blue light glasses on. And then I have these heatless curlers in so that I'll have more wavy hair. I'm just doing all the things so that I feel the most confident tomorrow on race day, and I'm working on making this pre-night race routine and pre-race morning routine. Then I have my earplugs, and then let's see, my sleeping mask. And normally I do struggle with going to bed the night before a race, but that's why having a routine helps, because when you just do that routine, it just makes you kind of feel more at ease.
Because the race is pretty early, right?
Oh. Yeah, the race is at 7:20. It's not that early though. I will actually be waking up pretty much at the same time as I normally do. And King will do this speed up. This is really smart to avoid using a curling iron when you're applying heat. I'm all for doing things as natural as possible. What do you think, Oscar?
Looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we got my HRV belt. This is just sourdough bread from a local bakery and Norwegian Nutella. Just focusing on carbs because I'm not at all hungry. We're in a hurry, but I think I've got everything. Wow. I feel so spoiled. Okay, here I have all the stuff. And then I have my feet up for the blood flow. I have electrolytes and some protein, if I can stomach protein, so I basically just have carbs this morning. And then I have my private chauffeur. I'm really nervous, to be honest. I'm always super nervous before races. So whenever my athletes tell me how nervous they are, I can totally relate, because there's something about, especially running, with it being, so if you're running a flat race, right, it's so easy to compare race to race, which makes it extra scary. It can make the pressure even bigger because you can feel like you have to PR at every race, and that's actually going to be my goal on this race, to have fun and not think about the specific time. Wish me luck. It's really hard not to do that. But yeah, my goal is to have a couple of extra gears so that towards the end I can like utilize those extra gears. Yeah, that's my plan. And just have fun. This is not a goal race. I'm not tapering for this race. It's just about, you know, seeing where I'm at now, getting more race experience. This is actually my first 10K since 2019, which is kind of crazy. And to be honest, part of it is that I've been really scared to race a 10K because I haven't raced one since 2019. And if you know my story, in 2019 was when my running journey started, and I got really good really fast. And just the thought of having your time be a lot better when you just started, it makes you feel like you're not making progress, even though I know that I am making progress. So yeah, so we didn't race one, but now we're mentally and physically ready, I hope. Okay, So the key on race day is to not look at your watch when you get like that notification saying if you've like decreased or increased your fitness. Every time I race, my heart rate is higher during the warm-up just because the adrenaline, the nerves, and even the fact that I have caffeine and normally I have decaf. So don't trust it. Don't look at it. Just focus on your zone. And you guys know I'm all for heart rate training, but that's the thing, heart rate training, not heart rate racing. So on race day, I go by feel. That's how I race, every single race. You know, in the past I've had numbers in my head, like, okay, that should be about the pace I should be able to hold. But honestly, the longer I get into the sport, the more I just kind of toss those numbers out of my head, because at the end of the day, my goal is to race to the best of my ability. And you can only do that by learning what that race effort is supposed to feel like. So that's really what I'm practicing. And today I'm just going to ditch the phone and music, which is really, really scary. I definitely have to practice training more without music to get used to it, but that's the thing, this is a practice race, so you gotta start somewhere. Just taking a little break here to remember how insanely incredible this view is. The fact that I'm racing with this view is just unbelievable. I'm so lucky. And regardless of how this race goes, this is my reality. This is what matters. Okay, now my heart rate is actually a little bit lower. It's 130, but quickly it's gonna spike again. Yeah, 136. Like, I know that this effort, this pace for me is very slow, and it's just because of the adrenaline and the caffeine that it's higher. So I'm paying attention to just like the pace being really slow. So 10-15 minutes before the race, I'm gonna do a little bit of work at low threshold just to get a little bit of speed in my legs. I know that my legs can eat from training, so I can't compare the time. And my goal here was to have fun and not think about the time.
Yeah.
Ran a 49 10K.
Just under a year?
Just under a year. Last year at the same race, he ran at 55 10K.
6 minutes shave, 1 year.
I'm doing a really long cool down, 40 minutes, to get to more miles since it's Sunday and it's normally my long run. My afterthought is that I have processed this a little bit now. That did not go well, or did not go as I had hoped, but this, I know that these hardships are just a part of the journey. This is the first race of the year, and I'm gonna come back stronger, and one day I'm gonna look back and just be so proud of myself for keep putting in the work, even though my times are not where I want them to be. And obviously I know that it's not like horrible. It's just when I started in 2019, I ran a 10K in 36 minutes. And now I've put in so much time, you know, learn all the things about running, and it feels like I've gotten slower, but I know that, you know, I definitely am in a much better place than I was back then. It's just, it's gonna take a little bit of time to really get out those results. So
For me, like,
gotta stay patient. And my athlete Ted ran, what was it, a 6-minute PR, which is just crazy. I'm so proud of him. And yeah, it's a really good coaching moment because obviously he ran the exact same race last year and I was here cheering him on, and I can't believe he just ran it 6 minutes faster and sub 50 minutes. He ran 49. That's incredible. He's so good.
To be without pro.
Aww. I definitely don't consider myself a pro. I want to be pro.
Not yet. Pretty soon. Pretty soon.
Pulse race, banana, and protein. I always try to get carbs and protein in after any run, really, because yeah, you really want less fat and more carbs because you want to get that protein quickly into the muscles to aid in recovery, and the carbs for filling up your glycogen stores that were just depleted. Normally I prefer having a smoothie, but I hate it when the smoothie gets warm, so that's why we're just doing the protein shake and banana. Final time was 40:15, and like I said in my cool down, that was definitely quite a bit slower than I wanted it to be. However, I think what's more important to look at, because this was just a training race, right? I'm not trying to be in peak shape for this race, meaning that I haven't been tapering, I haven't been decreasing the amount of volume at threshold and increasing the intensity to peak my shape. If you look at my heart rate though, you see that I still didn't execute it in the way that I should have. My lactate threshold is from 183 to 186, meaning that when I go above 186, or when I'm at like 184 to 186, then I'm really pushing it. And when I go above, that's when my body's not able to clear the lactate fast enough, and when I start to decrease my intensity because it gets really tiresome. So you see on my heart rate that at about minute 20, that's when I'm running at like 186 to 187 heart rate, and it's just, it feels manageable in that moment. That's obviously why I did it. However, what happened later on is that I got too tired and I decreased the pace, and that's when, you know, people talk about hitting the wall. What essentially happens is you slow down the pace and you start to not care as much about like pushing. And this isn't you being all weak. This is literally because you're going over that lactate threshold. So you have to decrease the pace or the effort to be able to sustain the whole race. What you see is that then at minute 30, that's exactly what happened. My heart rate declined, but it felt really tiresome, right? Because I'd hit that wall, I'd gone over my lactate threshold. If I had maintained my heart rate at like 182 to 184, that probably wouldn't have happened. And instead I would have gotten this kick at the end of the race, and I would have finished off really strong and probably would have raced a little bit faster at least. So highly recommend really figuring out what your lactate threshold is, and then being mindful of not going over that for a race until closer to the end. And why I'm so passionate about getting this message out there is that it isn't you being weak when you're not able to push once you've gone over that threshold. That's literally just like your body telling you that it's had enough. So what's really important is then to race at the correct intensity so that you're able to leave that last kick and that finishing strong to the end. What happened to me is that, I'm not gonna say I gave up, but like I got so tired that I stopped caring about my pace, right? And then that's when it just went downhill. And even though I was like really pushing because it felt tiresome, but my heart rate was essentially lower, it was just that it perceived effort was higher. We just got back to the apartment, and the rest of the day I'm just gonna do exactly what I feel like doing, which is probably going to mean eating a lot of good food, chocolate croissant, pizza, hot tub, chilling, watching TV, maybe seeing some friends. We'll just see. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. The best is yet to come, and if you're currently about to race, lots of good luck. Wishing all of you the best season, and stay strong. We're gonna crush 2025.